Hello students, today's lesson is Language Revision page 76. We are going to learn grammar that we have learned in unit 7 and 8. We are going to revise it. Here we have learned reported statements and questions in unit 7. Do you remember? Here they are. I own a clothes shop. For example, I say I own a clothes shop. People can say he said that. We report he said that. We can use that or not, but we must use he said. He owned a clothes shop. Own, present, etashmja, becomes owned në të shkuarën past. I am building one. I told him that I was building one. We can use also I told him. That is optional. Am becomes was. Building stays the same. I bought a t-shirt yesterday. When we report, we say he said that he had bought a t-shirt the previous day. Bought is a past, folje në të shkuarën, becomes had bought. Past perfect. And yesterday, yeah, becomes previous day. Here we have how we do reported questions. Do you have a website? He asked me if or whether I had a website. Have becomes had and we use if or whether. How many t-shirts do you want? I asked him how many t-shirts he wanted. Want become wanted. Okay, here we have some phrases, time phrases. When we say today, when we report becomes that day. Tomorrow becomes the following day. Next week becomes the following week. Yesterday becomes the previous day, and last week becomes the previous week. This becomes that, and these becomes those. Here becomes there. Okay, you are going to do the exercise for this in your notebook. Here, exercise number 1, for example, I'm going to study English in London. Anna said that she was going to study English in London. Is your English very good? Ruth asked her if her English was very good. You have to continue with the other questions and sentences. Okay, now let's go to the next exercise. Grammar reported speech. Reported speech is built he asked them to phone or he asked them not to phone. She told him to accept a lift. He invited her to come and stay. You promised not to accept a lift. He offered to pay half. He refused to pay anything. He admitted breaking the glass jug. He denied breaking the glass jug. He suggested phoning his cousin. He didn't apologize for being late. He explained that it was too dangerous. He complained that the pizzas were cold. He denied that he had broken it. He suggested that he phoned his cousin. Okay, when we report, we use these questions or verbs of reporting: ask, tell, invite, pursued, and order and they are followed ndjeken with an object, pronoun, and an infinitive. Ask, tell, invite, pursued, and order are followed by an object, pronoun, and infinitive. Promise, offer, refuse, and agree are followed by an infinitive with to play, for example. Admit, deny, suggest, and apologize are followed by a verb in the gerund form. For example, playing, skiing, or whatever. Admit being, for example, deny, suggest playing football, for example. Complain and explain are followed by that and a clause. He complained that he wasn't invited, for example. Admit, deny, and suggest are sometimes followed by that and a clause. Admit and deny are sometimes followed by that and a clause. For example, he admitted that he was wrong. Okay, now you're going to do exercise number 2. Here it is. You are going to use refuse, promise, complain, apologize, suggest, offer to make sentences by using reported speech. For example, he told them not to lose his key. Tell is already has been done. Tell has already been done. Okay, now let's go. You have to write this in your notebook. Okay, now let's go. The other thing we have learned is linkers and contrast. Clauses and linkers of contrast, also, in spite of, despite, however, on the other hand. Also, we use the word all the time. It can describe a whole range of relationship. In spite of or despite knowing everything about they are still my friends. For example, although we use a pronoun, then the verb. In spite or despite, we use a gerund with ing, knowing. And let's continue. I've got about 350 friends on social networking sites. However, see the chart, we use a comma after this. I only really know about 30 of them. Of course, our friends make us happy. On the other hand, noun and theater, having more than a few can be stressful. Here we have some. Choose the correct options. Although and however are followed by a subject and a verb. Subject, for example, we, and use a verb. In spite of and despite of must be followed by a subject and a noun or gerund. In spite, knowing him, for example. Okay, now you're going to do the next exercise. Here, for example, he loves music, he can play any musical instruments. Also he loves music, he can't play any musical instruments. Here you have to use them. On the other hand, in this sentence, in spite of in this sentence, however in this sentence, although in this sentence, despite in this sentence. Okay, now let's go to should have plus past participle. Should have or ought to have. I should have locked it. As Dr. Bulya. I ought to have locked it. I shouldn't have left it there, says Dr. Lea Atö. He oughtn't or ought not to have left it there. The same meaning. What's the difference? You should write down his address. Ti duhesh ta shkruash këtë adres. You should have written down this address. Është dashur që ta shkruash këtë adres. Dallimi, when we have had, it's a whole different meaning. Don't forget, we use past participle. Should have written. Should have written. Okay, now you are going to do exercise 4. Rewrite the underlined sentences with should or shouldn't have and past participle. I had coffee after the dinner and I couldn't sleep. This you have to rewrite. I shouldn't have had coffee after dinner. He ate a whole week and now he feels sick. I shouldn't have eaten a whole chicken because I feel sick, for example. Okay, then after you have done that, you're going to revise deductions in the present. Must, can't, might, could for deductions in the present. Supposimet në të tashmen. Even supermodels must look terrible sometimes. It can't be much fun. They might feel really miserable. They could have a bad headache, for example. Must, we are pretty sure. Can't, we are pretty sure that this is not possible. And might, we are a little bit sure. And also could, we are to a certain degree sure that this is possible. Here we have exercise 5. You can't be hungry, you've just had a cake. Nuk mund të jesh I uritur ti vetë sa ke ngren një copë torte. This suitcase and so on you are going to do with must, can't, or might. Remember, must is pretty sure it's possible, can't, pretty sure it's not possible, and might, it could be or might be possible. Okay, now we are going to do deductions in the past. Must have, can't have, might have, and could have for deductions in the past. Do you remember? Must have hidden it under his coat? Pretty sure we have must have hidden, must have, and past participle. This is in the past. The earlier one was in the present. He might have, could have gone on holiday. It might be possible and could be possible that he has gone on holiday, but we are not sure 100%. We are sure 50%. He can't have drowned. We are pretty sure that he can't have drowned. Okay. Do you remember this? We did this exercise earlier. Almost sure it's true, must. Almost sure it's not true, can't. Possible but not so sure is the one might have or could have gone. Remember, have and past participle we use with must, might, can't, and could. Here it's exercise number 6. You are going to do, for example, it can't have been her son because he said he was in Paris last week. Okay, this was for today. It's a long lesson, but I'm sorry we are going to learn. Thank you.